Could you imagine putting both Messi and Ronaldo in your small, tiny hometown club, or maybe get unlimited with transfer money? Well, you can do that in Football Manager with the editor. And for Football Manager, there are two editors available. There is a built-in one that is pretty easy to use, and there's a external editor that's much more complex. And this video will focus on the built-in editor, how you get it and how you use it. First off, the built-in editor costs money. If you click downloads, it will open the shop in Football Manager, and as you can tell, you can buy the in-game editor. And the editor is basically a DLC for the game, so if you go to Steam, the store page, you can buy it straight out of Steam as any other DLC. And same with Epic Games, if you go to the store page, you scroll down, and a bit down you find the editor as a DLC. After you bought the editor, you need to reboot the game if you already had it running. And then when you start up your save, you get this message about the FM in-game editor. And you can also check the manual to go through things by yourself, or just click OK. If you start a new save and you go to the advanced setup, there is an option to prevent use of the in-game editor. So if you find yourself using it a bit too much or misusing it and want a break for it, you can always start a new save where you won't be able to use the editor. Let's start with the manager and other staff members. To access the editor, I click this little pen symbol and I get a lot of options. For the manager, let's say things are not going well. We are struggling a lot and we are risking to get sacked. Well, maybe I want to become unsackable. Or maybe we have a staff member that we really would like to get rid of, but their contract still goes on for a long time. Well, then maybe we want to terminate the contract. Maybe you want to change around some of your personal details. Maybe you want to change your name or your experience from the past, how you look. Or if you have any favorite people, dislike people, favorite clubs, dislike clubs. Or maybe you just want to add a new language if you want to become a manager in a part of the world where you don't speak the language. And of course, as a manager, but also for your staff, you have a lot of stats and attributes that you can change with the editor. Let's move ahead to the league. And there's actually a few things we can change with the league. We could go here and we could give it another name if we want to. We could change the rules for pitch size, and we could also change the starting dates and a few other things. Now, of course, we can change things to the club. Stuff like its reputation, and we have the finances, facilities, and of course rival clubs, favorite people, and so on. And this could be really interesting, because let's say we want to make a transfer. Well, we have a very limited amount of transfer budget left. Well, we could just go here, we could change the club details, we could go for the finances, and we have the transfer budget. Let's just add a 0 here and click OK. Now we have gone from 20 million in transfer budget to 200 millions. That looks much nicer, doesn't it? And we could do a few other things like squad registration and stuff like that. My personal favorite when it comes to the editor is things that has to do with the players. As an example, we have Van Dijk here. And Van Dijk currently have an injury. It's not too bad, but I don't want to see Van Dijk injured, so I could just go to him. And we could click the editor. And we could remove all injuries. And now all of a sudden, no injury to be seen. Van Dijk is fantastic here. And when it comes to injuries, a player in Liverpool that's often injured is the Ox. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. There's actually a hidden stat in Football Manager that tells how injured prone a player is. So if we go to the editor, players attribute details, we can see some hidden attributes that we can't see in the regular game. Such as how loyal they are or their ambition and things like that. And one of them is injury proneness. And you have a scale here between 1 to 20. And 20, the player will be getting injured very easily and very often. And 1 very rarely. Now this doesn't make them immune to injuries. You can still get extremely unlucky and pick up a long injury. But by changing its value to 1, I'm betting that the Ox will see a lot fewer injuries in his later parts of his career compared to what he have been going through during the last couple of years. And if we go all the way down here, we can actually change the height and the weight of the player. We could say that we want the Ox to become a real beast on the pitch. He is now going to be huge, and of course we're going to put the maximum amount of weight. So now, yep, we have a big Ox. But at the same time, he's over 2 meters long, but he only have a jumping reach of 9. That's not okay. So we can actually go here and just pick start editing. And now we can change all of these attributes ASAP. So we can say, yeah, he is going to have 20 in jumping reach. And of course, being the beast he now is, we need to bring his strength up and his stamina and so on. You can actually just edit the attributes of a player. Maybe we want him to score some more goals. So we also increase his finishing ability. And when we're happy, we can stop editing. And as you can see, he now has some new updated stats. But this doesn't affect in the long run. Players still get better or start to decline in the game. But if you want to prevent them from that to happening, there's actually an option here to freeze attributes. If you pick this one, he won't get any better, but he won't get any worse either. We could also go for the personal attributes and favorite people. And I don't like this. Look at this. The Ox doesn't love me. What's up with that? I want the Ox to love me. So actually I'm going to remove all these people. I don't want them to love anybody but me. And instead, we're going to add. We're going to select a person. And we're going to see if we can find me. Yeah, there I am. Now I'm the only person in Ox Heart. And of course, we could, in the same way, we could add Liverpool here. And now he also likes Liverpool. And of course, if you are playing in another nation and you sign the Ox, maybe you want to have him learn your language. Now, here's a player we all know. Leonel Messi. He plays for PSG and he is not for sale. What's up with that? Clearly, in his heart, Messi would like to become a Liverpool player, but he's not for sale. So we could just use the editor to fix it. We go here and we move him to my club. And yeah, 0 fee. I think that's very fine. So yeah, okay. Now Messi is a Liverpool player, but we still have one problem. And we can also see that, of course, he is. We can actually find him in our squad now. But there's one big problem. He makes far too much money. So I think we're gonna go to his contract. And let's say we just remove the last number there. And click OK. Yep. Now we have a Messi making 37.5k a week. That feels much more reasonable. Another useful thing with the editor is that it actually gives us new scouting options. So if we go for a player search, we can actually create a custom view of this. So if we go here to customize current view, we could add things for the editor, because in this dropdown now, we have an option called hidden. And if we pick hidden, we can see all those hidden attributes we were talking about before, like in-your proness. So as an example, we could add asking price. Asking price will tell us kind of, it doesn't work perfectly, but it kind of says what offer will they accept. Now we have a number here that the club probably, not guaranteed, may accept for that player. It gives us some sort of hint. And of course, if you're into scouting, if we get back to customization here with hidden, you might want to show things like potential ability. That's the hidden potential ability a player have. And it decides what a big chance they have to become a world-class player. So as you can tell, there's a lot of things we can do for the scouting mechanic if we use the editor. Well, let's say you don't like what you're seeing here. You're not into cheating, or you just like, well, maybe sometime I remove an injury, but I don't want to use it for much more. Well, there's completely other stuff you can use this editor for. And what I personally recommend is to use the editor to create custom challengers. And what I mean with that is that you could decide that, for example, each new month in your save, something should happen. Then you could set up something like this. This is just a web page, wheel of names. And then you can spin a wheel to see what happens. At the start of each month, you roll this wheel and you go with what happens. Here I added stuff like kick random player, guest Messi, lose all money, get 10 million, lose best player, get random city player, remove an injury, double a player's wage, and so on. You could probably fill up this list with 10 more things or something like that. And then at the start of each month, you spin the wheel and see what happens. And this was not the best spin, because we just lost all our money. So we go into the game, we edit the club, we go to the finances, and that sweet 200 mil we just got, well, now it's down to 0. And all of a sudden, our transfer budget doesn't look very exciting. And of course, you could use this one for the other options. Let's say we got the option to lose a player. Then we could enter the name of all our players, and then we spin it, and let's say it actually ended on the Ox. We are losing the Ox. We just go to the editor and we terminate the contract, and we no longer have the Ox as one of our players. He is, as you can tell, a free agent. Maybe you get a random player for your league, so you just put in all the other teams, you scroll, let's say you get Everton, and then you put in their players, you spin the wheel again, and you get one of these players. You got Pickford, and he is now one of your players. Do you have any of your own ideas what would be fun to do with the in-game editor, or something that you feel like I mismentioned? Let me know in the comment section below. And of course, if you found this guide helpful, press that like button, because that helps me out. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more FM22 content. Thank you for watching.